What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. If you're listening to this in iTunes on the podcast, welcome. I'm actually pouring myself. This is my healthy smoothie that I'm drinking as a late afternoon snack. You know, the funny thing is, like, I do Twitter. I like to Twitter. Twitter is fun. Sometimes Twitter can get a little crazy as I'm spilling this everywhere. I wish I could show you the mess I'm making. It's really good though. So good, very healthy. I recently just published an article on Forbes. I've been contributing there for a number of years. And the title of this article was the best side hustles for 2021. And in this article, I list 9 different ways, obviously. And then number 6 is become a social media manager. From my point of view, the reason I am using this as an example is I'm thinking of if you are somebody that knows social media, knows how to use Facebook, knows how to use Twitter, you could go to a small business like a dentist, an attorney, could be a local bakery, and you could offer your social media services because many business owners don't have the time or the inclination to know anything that they are doing. And this is a perfect side hustle for anybody that has some extra time because, you know, being a former small business owner, as a former financial advisor, I recommend, especially if you're a service provider, you spend too much time doing the day-to-day stuff that social media is one of the things that you don't have time for unless you just absolutely love it, you know, which I did. You know, that's how I grew my business, using my blog and then my podcast and YouTube. I was definitely the exception because most small business owners don't care about social media. So with that, I carry on my merry way. And then as usual, when I do publish for Forbes will share it on social. Some other people may retweet it, may share it. And then all of a sudden I started seeing myself tagged in a few tweets. I don't know which was the first one that I noticed, but just to show you, like, here is one example of one that I took notice of. You know, this person tweets, says, they really let anybody write anything on Forbes. And it has a screenshot, you know, of my article there, which I didn't really know what that meant. They didn't really articulate, you know, and if you click on the guy's profile, guess what? Is a social media manager. Go figure. His tweet had like 97 retweets, 1,500 likes, 243 quote tweets. I mean, so this was a very popular tweet. As I started scrolling down, the same guy says, like, I'm laughing at this, but then there's a little part of me that's crying. Somebody responded to him, but then tagged me and said, explain this to us social media managers. I responded with, if I listed as a part-time social media manager, would that have been better? They never responded to that one. Another guy who actually I think is a news anchor in ABC Columbia tweets back, said, this isn't a side hustle. And I'm like, what is it? Because I don't know if he meant the social media manager position or the other 9 things that I mentioned. And then somebody else chimes in and says, I obviously don't understand social media. To that, I'm like, oh, okay. I guess I don't understand social media. Maybe you should educate me on what social media is and how it works. I don't know. At this point, I'm really confused, like, on what's going on. This is how the information is being processed to me, right? Like, nobody is saying anything. They're just telling me, like, it's not a side hustle, which I don't understand. I understand that a social media manager could be a full-time thing. Totally get that. I totally get how big brands will dedicate teams to focus on their social media management. But the part that I'm just not understanding is, why can't it be a side hustle? I don't understand. Like, nobody is sharing, nobody is explaining. They're just telling me, I don't understand. I don't understand. Okay. So I don't know. I'm like really confused. And then it just kind of goes on. I'm so incredibly sick of this profession being disrespected. Wow. I mean, the fact that a social media manager could be a side hustle is disrespectful. I don't know. And then my 60+ hours per week side hustle self is laughing about this. So there's a few others. And this is the part where really, like, I'm like, okay, what is this about? Like, this isn't about a side hustle or anything to that effect. And what her response I thought was rather interesting. And I can't remember what the first response was. Before I read hers, let me read this one. It says, yeah, Jeff Rose, would love to try to see you do this as a side hustle since it's so easy. And to which then I responded, I did start a blog as a side hustle, true story, and made it my full-time gig. It wasn't easy, but I did it. Does that count? I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand. It's just like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're doing. If it's so easy, you go do it. I'm like, maybe I didn't do a social media manager position, but I did start a blog. I did use social media to grow it. It did replace my full-time gig. I think I understand, but obviously I'm not understanding why y'all are getting insulted because of this. So this lady goes on to say, I would love to explain to you how being a social media manager is so far from a side hustle and how we are consistently fighting trivialization of our role like this as our actual side hustle. But I am incredibly slammed right now being a full-time social media manager at 60+ hours a week. There's a lot of things about that I could break down in so many different ways. The comment that she is constantly fighting, how her role is being trivialized. That's very interesting to me. I mean, as a former small business owner, I can relate to that because here I am, I'm a financial advisor and I am trying to get you as my client. Well, I've got every other broker out there. I've got the big Wall Street firms, I've got the Edward Jones, I've got the independents. I'm competing for all their business. I've got banks now also offering financial services in there, right? You got that aspect. And then you got the multi-level marketing companies out there. I'm like, Prime America comes to mind. PHP Agency, I think is another one. So, I mean, you have all of those out there as well that I'm competing with. And this was also, you had all the robo-advisors, that Betterment, Robinhood, M1 Finance. So I am competing with all of those. So I understand the frustration of having to do that. But to me, it wasn't about fighting, trying to fight to show my clients or prospective clients that I'm the best advisor for them. There's something that I need to do in my messaging, in my unique selling position, my USP, offering my unique method and how I am different. I'm saying all this because I saw this from a lot of other social media managers, feeling that as if, I'm belittling them and all this stuff. So the reality is that from what I'm getting out of this is that they are struggling with trying to prove their worth. They are struggling trying to prove to their clients or other clients that what they're doing is actually worth it, which really makes sense because I have worked with big brands. I have worked with their PR firms. I've worked with social media agencies that have a very difficult time trying to demonstrate the actual results of different campaigns that they are doing. A lot of it is based off of impressions and likes and tweets and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're a business, I don't care how many likes my latest Instagram post received or how many retweets my last tweet got. At the end of the day, did people actually buy from me? Did they actually become a client? Did I get paid? Ultimately, that's what drives results. I'm just trying to put this all together. That's what I'm thinking. Then it's like, and she's incredibly slammed. That's awesome. And the other part of that is it's almost like this anger that they are slammed because there's other people that said this. They're working 60+ hours a week. There's no way this is a side hustle. And then I'm just thinking, do you have to work 60 hours a week? Are you micromanaging? Are you not delegating? Are you not outsourcing? Because there's two ways you can look at this. You can either be grateful that you are working 60 hours a week and that you are slammed, like that's awesome. You can also look at this as, why are you working 60+ hours a week? I mean, this is your choice, right? You have chosen to work greater than you either can handle at the moment. So what do you need to do with your business, with how you've structured your day, to your obligations? Is there other things that you need to do, delegate, build some teams, build some processes so that you aren't slammed and overworked and just completely stressed out? I was getting all these different interactions with people and I just was trying to figure out, understand. It kind of kept going. So you could do anything for 10 to 15 hours a week. Doesn't mean that the quality will be good. Think about it this way. Brands don't hire social media managers to keep lights on. They do it because they want to grow their social in the next Wednesdays or steak. That requires time. The very first sentence there, you could do anything for 10 to 15 hours a week. Doesn't mean the quality will be good. I firmly agree with that. I agree with that 1000%. But it's also supporting the fact that yes, this could be a side hustle. And I get maybe the quality of work isn't as good as an agency or somebody that's been doing it a little bit longer. But once again, you're further proving my point that this could be a side hustle. It could be a side hustle. Now, okay, let me get to that point. Let me show you one other thing real quick. Okay, so I got sucked in. Oh, Twitter, I gotta take a break. I was trying to find the tweet that I was referencing, and then I had some few more people tweet back, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's still going. But the tweet that I was trying to find actually given me the best reasoning or rationale of why this, I guess, has escalated to what it has. So this guy, his name is Tyler, he went on to say, happy to talk to you about why being a social media manager is anything but a side hustle and why it's important to have a full-time dedicated person or team running your social media. And to that, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, this is to me was like the big disconnect, because I'm not talking about a Fortune 500 company. I'm not talking about a big brand. I'm not talking about a business with 20 plus employees. Many of those, like, they could totally afford having a full-time dedicated social media manager and a team running their social media. But to the small business owner that has less than 12 employees, for them to hire a full-time person or a team running their social media, it doesn't even exist. So I'm like, there's this huge disconnect on what the point that I'm trying to make and what everybody is essentially attacking me about. I responded to his tweet and says, I quoted that part about the having a full-time dedicated person, and I say, y'all are making my point for me. Many small businesses can't afford this, and why someone offering to manage their social media is the perfect side hustle. That I finally got a response where I could finally understand why everybody is so angry. It is still angry at me, even though I will say I have some tweets, which I'll share here in 1 second, that kind of put a little fuel on the fire. But anyway, he writes, and if I could add some context, social media managers have been seen as just interns or part-time workers for years. There's a large push in the industry to get rid of these misconceptions. Once again, like, okay, I get it. So right now, it sounds like anybody that social media has looked at, oh, you can have a college kid do it, I can have my teenager do it. There's more than just posting to Instagram. There's just more to posting to Twitter. If we're talking about the building the conception and the brand and the strategy and the analytics and tracking all of it. So like, okay, like I get that. I totally get that. Once again, I am just saying that somebody could approach a dentist. Well, I keep saying a dentist because I have a friend who just started his, actually he's not a dentist, he's an orthodontist. He just opened his new business and he has somebody doing his social media part-time as a side hustle. I had friends that were attorneys and chiropractors, other orthodontists and dentists and other service professionals that had people doing their social media part-time. Now, did they have as great success as working with some big agency? I don't know. I know they had some success. I know that whatever they were trying to do from it, they had some success. They got new business, new clients from it. Everybody that came at me to say, I need to shut my mouth, I don't know what I'm talking about, insulting, I don't know. I'm not trying to minimize what they are doing. Maybe I need to choose a different term instead of saying social media manager. The way that I'm looking at this is that if this is a big deal, a big misconception in the industry, then there needs to be something done on their end to make sure that they stand out so that they don't have to educate their clients, their prospects in what they do and what they offer. And then maybe choose a different title than a social media manager. And that is one of the reasons why, as a financial advisor, we didn't offer a financial plan. Everybody and their brother offered a financial plan. You could get a free financial plan anywhere. That's why we had our unique process that we offered, which is something that I named, and I come up with all the different steps and clearly articulated what to expect at each step. And this was how we were able to deliver and be different than everybody else. And that's why I wasn't overly concerned about Vanguard or Betterment or Robinhood. If I had to go out of my way to try to explain it to somebody as far as like why I deserve to be their financial planner, like it wasn't worth it to me. I should have done the work on the front end, or I didn't do a good job, or they've already made their decision. And there's no point trying to waste my time. And I will admit I have wasted too much time trying to, I don't know. If I'm being honest, right now I am quarantined. My oldest son tested positive for COVID the other day. So we are locked down for 10 days. So I am bored. I'm working on a new course and then just kind of needed a break from that and having all my kids being homeschooled right now. So that's why I've spent a little bit too much time on Twitter than I normally do. And yeah, so it's kind of, it's affected me, but it's also showing me, you know, as a small business owner, I don't care if you're a social media manager, any type of service provider, you have to figure out a way to show how you are unique and how you stand out from everybody else. I will assure you that going to Twitter to go after somebody that minimizes or just doesn't give you the validation in your career, like that ain't gonna do it. That's actually a waste of your time. Focus more on your time of creating your unique process and your deliverables and how you stand out and what you provide. That's where you need to start focusing your time. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like that's what I did with my business. That's what allowed me to grow it, allowed me to sell it, allowed me to hack my wealth. Obviously, not obviously, but a few other people made comments about my wealth, me being a wealth hacker. That's all they needed to know about me being a wealth hacker. So anyway, just want to share that with you. I hope there's some lessons in here. I know I've learned a lot. Hope you did too. If you haven't done what you know you need to do, that's like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.